What I forgot to do. Hey everyone, welcome back to Isyour6covered. Appreciate you showing up. And tonight is going to be a good night if you're brand new to PRS. We have obviously we got X-Ring back here, but we have Sergio Hernandez somewhere. Don't be shy. He's shooting his first PRS match tomorrow, 22 rimfire match, and there's a lot of questions. So he, unfortunately, Ray's not going to be able to shoot it now. He was originally teamed up with or matched up in the same squad. So we're going to try to go over everything he needs to know tonight so that for tomorrow, he all he needs to do is bring some extra luck and do really good tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But we got a check-off list we're going to talk about, pre-stage checklist.
Check-off. It's a start track.
That's right. So it'll be fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and let's try to get this camera so that one light's not on there. And what we're going to be talking about is we have we got the tactical 2x4, so it won't be a big deal. We'll be able to show that firearm, and YouTube won't have a heart attack, which will be obviously really, really cool. So tomorrow we are shooting at VOD, Virtuo Defense, located in Old Fort, North Carolina. Chris Simmons is running the match, so he's the match director. It is going to be for PRS points and Mars, and stage 1 through 10 tomorrow. So we'll have some fun. Here's a quick kind of insight. If you guys are watching this later, you can pause the video and see all the stages if you really are interested. And here's the other side. So the way it's set up today is, or for tomorrow, is if you are on squad 1, you'll be shooting stage 1. If you're on squad 2, it'll be 3, and then basically bump down all the way to there. So if you're squad 5, which that's what we are, or my squad is, it'll be stage 9. So I'll shoot 9 and 10 and then go to 1. But we'll have some fun. And I'm waiting for Jamie out there. There's another individual that's shooting one for the first time we met up with, and it'll be his first match. Unfortunately, he'll be on a different squad than Sergio will be on, and I'll be on a different squad than the both of them. So it kind of sucks because trying to be able to help people isn't going to be possible. I'm just going to cut my belly before, but we'll go over some of the parts, components, some of the stuff. And what we need is you need a gun and a scope, first off. And let's say you got a gun and a scope. Hopefully, preferably, you have a scope that is in mils, so that most shooters that you're going to be shooting with in PRS will be mils, not MOA. Now, you can do it with both, so don't think you can't. If that's what you have, is what you have, and that is better than nothing. So as long as you got your gun, your scope, 2 magazines, preferably if you got one that's a +12, is definitely good. But you need a 10-rounder, and if you can, a 12-rounder would be great. A bipod of some sort. Doesn't matter what it is, a Harris, an Atlas, a Skypod, a Thunder Beast, whatever you got, as long as you got some type of bipod. Ammunition, you're going to want 150 rounds. So you're going to want some extra rounds for zeroing, and you're going to definitely need to keep that 100 ready for the match, because most matches, one-day matches, will be 100 rounds. And if you want to chime in on anything, let me know. A gun case, you're going to want a gun case or some type of way of carrying your stuff from stage to stage, preferably depending on the way you're doing it. But, if the weather's bad, so on and so forth. But ballistic software, Kestrel, or some type of app on your phone, Straylock, whatever it is, preferably a Kestrel, a chronograph. So having a chrono in the morning when you're doing your zero, you can see what your speeds on your bullets are going to be prior to the match. So if you're all your data is basically showing that you're at 1,103 feet per second, and for some reason today you're at 1,200 feet per second, there will be some drastic differences. So being able to figure out what your speed is and knowing that there's might be a change until it warms up or whatever the case is, or cools off. I know we're starting tomorrow morning like at 25 degrees, so it's going to suck. It's going to be cold. And after I get done with this pre-checklist, I'll come out and say hi to everybody out there. Support bags. So like Game Changers, Tater Tots. These are two different style Armageddon or Wee Bads. I got a Game Changer upstairs. Actually, it's in my truck, so I'll make sure that that stays in the truck. There was one time I went to a match and forgot that. But different types of shooting bags. This is going to be used for putting on the barricades. This is going to be used for rear bag support, so on and so forth, depending on what you got going. Gray ops plate or some type of plate that goes on the bottom of your rifle, and hopefully you have an Arca Swiss rail where you can mount your bipod forward and backwards depending on the stage, is a bonus compared to running it off of some type of Picatinny rail. And being able to have that plate will give you a better surface contact with your bag. So that's definitely an option. Not a needed, but if you have some type of plate, it definitely helps. A backpack to carry all your gear, your ammo, maybe your binos, maybe just, your rain gear and some other stuff that you're going to need. We'll talk about. But having a way to have all this stuff with you as you go from stage to stage. Some places your vehicle is not even anywhere near where you're at or located, so you can't. It's not like you can run back to the truck every time if you need something. So you want to carry, some snacks. That's something we got to remember too. Is we need to bring some snacks because they're not supplying lunch. Data book, pen, and dry erase. So I like running. Everybody's got their own little system. I know Ray likes to use a dry erase and run it with the pen. I prefer the tape just because I can pull it off. And then my next stage, I got a new sheet of. This is basically 12 to 15 pieces that you pull off each stage, and then I don't have to worry about. I just have a Sharpie on my tripod, and I write the information down. So pins, dry erase, and data book. Gun mounted data board. So that's basically what this is. So this is Hawk Hills. This is a Hawk Hills data card. Basically, you got Velcro female loop on one side. You get your card, and you stick that on your Picatinny. Where's that one thing at? The 2x4 board.
Right here, tactical 2x4.
Tactical 2x4. So actually, you got it right there. This would be the rifle, the scope, and then your data card, depending on what you got going. All your information for that stage should be located on there, unless it's, say, just one target distance, and you already dialed it in, so you don't have to worry about changing your dope as you go. Dope, guys, is not drugs. It's data on previous engagements. It's basically information that we've got from going out, testing, writing it down, also putting it in the Kestrel, so on and so forth. And then an empty chamber flag. So there's different styles. There's ones that are.
You got one here.
It's like a thin one. Some are a block, like this one.
These are not always allowed.
These are not always allowed. Sometimes you have to actually put the flag. There you go. Shit's everywhere around here. Sometimes this actually has to go into the chamber, which I don't really like, especially if your rifle, you just shot 12 rounds and now it's all hot and you're jamming plastic in there. Not to say that it would melt, but you know that the chamber, you're safe basically. So when you're done shooting, you put these back in, whatever one. I prefer these ones if possible. This is a Yotech, and this is just this one says Liberty Precision on it. But those are two options, but you'll need something like this of some sort. So that is a good thing. Knee pads and a hat. So sometimes you'll see some of my videos where I'm running a knee pad, or I'm running like cry pants that got the built-in knees in them. That actually helps a lot. You got those little tiny 22 cases on the ground, and if you're shooting off concrete or rocks or pebbles, when you go to kneel down, the last thing you want is one pebble to go perfectly in your knee. Oh yeah, we got some, and you'll be able to be a little more comfortable. Most of the time, 99% of the time, if you're a right-handed shooter, you got your left knee down. So a lot of times I'll only put one knee pad on. and then your other knee is up and supported by your elbow or with the type of bag. And that the big, basically it's called the Big Ass Bag by Armageddon Gear, is a bag that I consider a must-have, at least if the stage will allow it, because that is a very, very useful bag. It fills in the void. And we're going to get into this. We got the ladder set up. We got in the back behind. Get your ass out the way. We got the dry fire system set up. So we got Ray's rifle. He's going to be shooting Ray's rifle. So we got the cap on there that's going to give you him basically we're going to run him through a course of fire so that he understands everything that he needs to understand before he gets there and has to deal with all this crap by himself. Rain gear, scope, sunshades, and caps. Rain gear, definitely, especially if like it's been snowing lately and now it poured rain the last couple days. Like I think we got like 4.5 to 5 inches. So everything is wet. So even just having rain gear so you can put your knee and your pants don't get wet is definitely an option. Having a cover for your rifle actually can be a huge benefit. Just keeps everything out of the turrets and keeps your glass from getting wet, at least until you start the stage. Some people prefer scope caps. Some people don't. I like them better for dust than I do for rain. They do help with rain, but sometimes they'll fog up because of it. Getting your rifle out there early, obviously, and letting it set up to the environment. Don't leave it in your truck right before the stage. After you go out there and zero, leave it out in the cold and your ammo and everything else so that it has the time to basically get ready. So cleaning rods and kits, if you want basic tools and torque wrenches. So you're going to need some stuff so when you go to zero range, you have the ability to either tweak with your zero and get it perfect before you start the day's match. Kind of an important thing. Tripods and spotting scopes and rangefinder. So Ray's got this one set up here. This is Ray's setup. So basically you got a tripod. On top of it, he has a Kilo BDX 3000s and a SIG. Those are SIG BDX 3000s. And that way he's going to confirm all the ranges. So you really want to do that. I know Chris does a really good job of making sure and confirming that what the range says on the course of fire is correct, but you always want to double check. So Ray's going to pretend he does that. It says 105. He's writing down all his information. He confirms it with his course of fire. Let's say it's perfect.
And we'll do this live here in just a minute.
Yes.
And kind of explain it as we're doing it.
And then sunblock, medication, first aid kit. So those are things if it's super hot out or whatever the case is, whatever the environment's going to be, you're going to want chapstick and all that other crap. Snacks and drinks, you're going to want to stay hydrated. So you're going to definitely want gallons of sweet tea available at all times. Bring some extra for your friends. Okay, so that's basically the things you're going to need in your truck before you head off to the match. All right, or maybe load it in your truck the night before so you don't forget anything.
Yeah, because if I'd have heard that list, that'd have been, I can't shoot this match. That's too much crap.
Too much crap, but that's all the crap we got. Minus.
You want it available, even though you might not have it on the stages with you.
Correct. You don't need some of this stuff. Like knee pads and a hat. You don't need those per se. Those are just nice to have. Rain gear, you might not even need rain gear, but those are the things that people think of as a checklist pre-match. So pre-stage checklist now. So this is basically before we go. So we're going to arrive at the thing. We got our zero. They went over all the safety concerns. They talked about, everything to look for, any safety things going on. Maybe there's a bee's nest down at stage 5. Guys, stay away from that area. Whatever that is, basically a little mini meeting prior to starting up. So then they're going to say, okay, squad 5, you're going to stage 9. So we head off to stage 9. Now we are there. We're at the course of fire. And the course of fire is, actually we should do stage 4 because it's one distance. This will be easier for him. So stage 7 is cattle prod, 90 seconds, 10 shots, 214 yards. Shooter will start with foot touching cone, mag in, bolt back, at port arms. So basically up like that. On command, shooter will move to barricade position of choice and engage know your limits bowling pins, 2 impacts each. There's actually know your limits over there too, so that works good. 2 shots each. Where the hell is that? Oh, 2 impacts each, large to small. After target impacted twice, shooter will move levels on gate and not repeat. Must hit twice to move to the next target, and once a position's picked, shooter must stay until 2 impacts. We'll utilize the same thing. It'll be the ladder prop as the drill. So first target dialed, parallax set, power set, target acquisition, course of fire, mental rundown, scope caps up, chamber flag out, mag in and fully loaded, position bags and plate, bipod off or adjusted properly. Also things to add on here is if you're up next and you're running a timer on your watch, get it set up for the stage and ready for the right amount of seconds. All courses of fire tomorrow will be 90 seconds. So go ahead. This would be the way Ray would set it up.
So first off, let me answer some questions. Yes, I'm X-ring. Somebody had asked. Todd Elfster. I run the SIGs. Rick runs the Vortex. I have no opinion either way because I don't have enough time on the Vortex. But I can tell you that he did break an eye cup on his Vortex. Did you ever send that back?
It's back.
It's back. So he sent it. It fell down. It broke. I will tell you that these SIGs, guys, I have used this in pretty much every match. This took a huge hit. You guys can see this impact right there. That was when I was out in New Mexico, and that fell on rocks. I really thought it shattered the eyepiece here on that side.
Yeah, you got
and
lucky.
It didn't. These have been...
But you do not run these out ever.
Yeah, no. Okay, so...
I do.
Rick always runs these out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I have no idea why, but I run mine in like this. I keep everything compact. These have been dropped a ton, and they're always spot on.
Yeah.
So that answers that answers Todd's question.
Is that Todd with Elster's rifle?
Yeah, Elfster's Rifles and Reloading.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
So there's a lot of people here that I know, and what we're going to do really quickly for those that, like we've got Sergio here, he's never done a PRS match in his life. And I think there are some key things you need to know. I'm not going to go over what equipment you need because Rick just did that. What I'm going to go over is the stage and the stage planning when you get there.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're going to use the tactical 2x4.
So that's where we're going to start. So,
all right. So that was the stage course of fire. We went over the course of fire. It is a know your limits target. There's one distance at 214 yards and 10 shots. No, basically, so he's up there. So this is where Sergio really needs to pay attention. Okay, Sergio, you just walked up to stage 7. You're not even the first shooter, thank goodness. You got extra time. First thing you got to do is kestrel work. You want to do direction of fire. You want to do all that stuff. You want to confirm what your data is on your dope.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay, so here we go.
All right,
so here's Ray on stage 7.
All right, so guys, when you get to stage 7, let's say there's 3 people in your squad. Okay, you just got done with the previous stage. You get to stage 7. Your RO might or might not be ready. Don't worry about them. Your job is this is the way that I do it. This is not going to be the only way because I've seen a ton of people do it different ways. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if you're first or last shooter, but when you're ready to go up there, get up there and get to business. And what I mean by that is I'm going to have the stage description with me. I know there's one target at 214 yards. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tripod. I'm going to get behind the binos. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that target is at exactly 214 yards. Okay.
So go up to the barricade.
I place the binos in the exact same position where my scope turrets would be when I'm shooting it. Okay. When you're shooting 22, 5 yards makes a huge difference in your elevation based on where you are going to be shooting this, because maybe there's a position that's a little more forwards, 5 yards, or one that's a little back. On the stage description, it said barricade of choice. So keep that in mind. So the very first thing is I go up to to the target. I look, 214 yards. And what I'm going to do is I run a whiteboard like this, okay? This is why I invented this stupid thing. Basically, it's just an erasable whiteboard. You know, I sell them on my website. They are, for me, they're indispensable. What I'll do is I'll put 214 here. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Kestrel. And with that Kestrel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I've spun up the environmentals to make sure that the temperature stayed about the same. If you ever have to shed a layer of clothing, it's probably a good time to go ahead and redo your environmental. And I'll put in there the 214. So in this case,
this is already after he's already calloused.
It's already been calibrated and everything else.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over to 214 yards. And I'm going to let you guys see this because it's one target engagement at 214. All right. So that says 8.08. Okay.
So 8-1 basically.
So as Rick said, it's 8.1, but no, it's not. It's 8.08. You have to kind of know based on your zero that you got, is your rifle shooting dead on with your Kestrel right now? Is it favoring high? Is it favoring low?
Well said.
So you might want to put on there 8 flat instead of 8.1. Know what the tendency of the rifle is based on what happened that morning. Look at your temperatures and everything else.
This
So
is where you'll get your information because this is your first stage. So you really don't have great idea of if it's shooting a little bit higher or low.
Okay, the next thing I want to do, now we kept this very simple. It's a one distance stage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my data card, and Rick was right. I do like the dry erase pens. And what I'll do is I will put 214, and that was 8. I'm going to call it 8 flat. And we'll say, just so you guys can see it, 214, 8. Okay. The very next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dial that 8 mils into the scope because I know that's the only target I'm going to be engaging. I'm not even set up loaded mags or anything else yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get those 8 mils into my scope. That way, when I pick it up to shoot, I know everything's right. If you know what your parallax is on your scope, and let's say you've got witness marks that show 100, 200, go ahead and put it on about that 200 range because you know it's 214. Go ahead and make sure your power is somewhere between that 10 to 15 range. I don't have to worry about that rifle now. If I get in a hurry, it's ready. All it needs is a shooter at this point. If you have an LRA level, go ahead and turn it on. Don't worry about killing your batteries. This is your time to kill the battery, okay? Just always make sure you have spares with you. So now you've got that mental game plan of, okay, I'm engaging from one location, my location of choice. I'm going to go ahead and stick this on my data card holder like that so that I've got everything ready to go. That's how I mentally prepare for each stage. Now,
And you dialed, you said, right?
I went ahead and dialed.
Yeah. So
Now,
that's done.
if you have a stage, like let's say stage 8, there's a target at 98, 147, blah, blah, blah. There's 5 different distances. You're going to do the exact same thing. Confirm with this first. Once you've confirmed the distances, establish what your dope is going to be. Go ahead and do your data card, get it on the rifle. And at that point, you are ready because your group's either coming in or they're already there. Now, let's say you're the last shooter. Let's say they drew the list and they said,
and you got 10.
they say X-ring, you're last. This is not the time to go to your truck and hang out and eat a sandwich and everything else. You really need to be on this glass. And guys, if you're there first, as long as you're not in the way of the RO, chances are you're not going to be asked to move, okay? If you can get to that stage first, try to get directly behind the shooter's location. Because at this point, at 214, you don't know what your wind value is going to be. Now, you also don't know what this shooter is capable of, and you don't know if he's holding the correct wind. But I promise you, after a few shooters, you're going to see a tendency on those beautiful white steels of left or right or high or low. So your job is to get back here and look while he's shooting to see if you can see where they're missing and how they're missing. This is very important. These are what we call clues, right?
Here's a clue right here.
Yeah.
You got a target, and all of them are
Is that a hippo with a hairy butt?
I don't know what the hell it is. But you see all the impacts on the right Yeah, it'd be the right side. So that's a clue. That's a clue.
Yeah. So most people might be holding center, or they could be holding a little left and not judging enough. But remember, most people
it's
undervalue wind. Okay. That's across the board. Most people don't figure in enough. So you've taken that information. Now you're prepared. You've got everything you need. When you are the shooter that's not on deck, but in the hole, you should have all of your crap ready and be prepared. Your magazines are already loaded. You have a spare mag in your pocket or on a holder.
Yep.
See, I'm always ready. So I've got one in my back pocket or something. Now be careful putting it in your back pocket, because if you're kneeling or squatting, it can rip your pants or something like that. But this is also a time for you to take note, if you haven't already decided which position on which bags you might want to utilize. You need to have all of that stuff ready and lined up, so that when you are the on deck shooter, all you're waiting for is this guy to get out of the way, be done, and you to be ready.
Well, another good thing to add to that is, say that's some other type of barricade and he's running a bipod. Look at how high his bipod is. Get all that information so that you can preset that up. It's one less thing. You forgot. You just basically pulled the legs out, and all of a sudden they're too damn short. Now, guess what? I just wasted a couple seconds having to go. And so those are clues to go, okay, that's what I need to be at that height, or maybe it didn't work for him. But it's an idea. All right,
let's take a moment to catch up on anything we might have missed.
There was one question: what if you don't have stray locks? Well, if you don't have a Kestrel, you could use stray lock if you have something, and hopefully one of your buddies has a Kestrel. He can give you the environmentals.
So, guys, do you see this app? It looks like, the only way I can really describe it, looks like a Russian star. It is Strelok Pro, Strelok. Strelok Pro. There it is. Okay. This right here will do about everything you need except get real-time environmentals, but you can buy little dongles and things like that will give you that information. It's good enough to win matches with, but it's not a replacement for a straight-out Kestrel.
No, your best bet is if you can get a Kestrel of some sort.
Okay. Get it set up before match with your info like rifle and cartridge stuff. That was a menacing too. Another thing to determine is to figure out if you should step up your scope for holdovers, if possible, on multiple target stages.
That's another thing too, guys. If you're the sixth shooter and 4 of those guys have timed out, and that you watched every one of them dial, and they look like they were moving in between and doing a good job, and they still didn't have enough time, you may have to go, you know what, I need to do some holdovers because I'm not going to have enough time.
Maybe. But like for Sergio, this is going to be his first PRS match. Yeah, I'm going to recommend for him not to do holdovers tomorrow. If he runs out of time, so be it. But dial, be more precise. You got a good, solid center hold instead of trying to guess in between and whatnot. So that's what I'm going to recommend to him.
Sean D, it kind of depends on how much time you'll generally have once you arrive at the next stage. Here's how it works around here: is there's usually 5 squads, 10 stages. So you have, if you're squad 1, you have stage 1 and 2 before you ever impact going over to squad 2, which has 3 and 4. It kind of bumps down 2. But you'll have time. Just don't, get the stuff you need to get done. If you know you're going to be first coming up on the next stage, get your ass over there after you shoot, get everything you need done, like Ray had talked about, so that you are ready to go, because you will now be the first shooter. And it normally, if it's done right, and sometimes they don't do it right, but if it goes Ray, then me, then so and so on, that means I'm up next on the next squad, and it keeps rotating back.
Unless they go every other because of the big squad, they might skip.
They might do that, yeah. They might do that, but for the most part, you know that you're coming up soon.
As far as the Kestrel, there's the 5700 Elite with Link. What I just showed you is the 5700X, which has a faster processor. They'll work. I mean, they'll work great, but it's also a big expense. So Strelok Pro is going to get you by. it's going to do more than get you by. It's going to come down to the shooter, but I think that the Kestrel is actually going to be a little more precise, especially when you get out to doing drop scale factors when you're zeroing your rifle initially. So
yeah, better input in, better input out.
correct. So I'm not going to get all into the nuances of the Kestrel, but I will tell you that I had every intention of shooting this match tomorrow, but I couldn't because something came up for tomorrow. So Sergio is going to be shooting the Kenneth I Desert Precision Gunworks, the Rimex. And I had to get dope for it.
Yep.
So remember, you want to make sure that you're getting good, solid 50-yard zeros. Once you get that 50-yard zero, confirm it at 100, confirm it at 200. And at 200 yards, if there needs to be a correction, you want to go calibrate muzzle velocity. And you can do that with Strelok Pro. This is where you're going to have an issue. When we got to 250 yards, Rick's and my information was wrong.
By like 4/10.
Yeah, about 4/10 to almost half a mil. So at that point, at 250, if it said, and I'm going to make this number up, guys, if it said 10.5 mils, but it truly was 10 mils flat, then I can go in anything beyond 200 yards, 250, I want to do the DSF or the drop scale factor. It's going to lock in that number for 250 and not mess with anything down to 200. It's going to leave those as a constant. When we went to 300, it was off. So now that Kestrel's been set up perfectly and those drops are perfect, that's where you're going to lose out, or that's where the Strelok Pro loses out.
Yeah.
You can adjust BC and you can adjust speed, but as far as doing the DSF, it's not going to be as easy or as precise as the Kestrel.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So now we got Sergio. You got any questions so far, Sergio?
Did he go?
He's so damn quiet over there.
Yeah, so somebody asked me, I think it's Joaquin, this is the 5700X. So when I went out, all of us got these as part of the schooling when we went out to Texas and shot with Hodnett. And yeah, big shout out to Surefire because they provided these brand new to everyone. And it is a little faster. Is it necessary? The extra $100? No, absolutely not. I don't think you'll notice the difference.
I mean, if you have stuff that's going to be able to communicate with it and you don't have one, it would be a good idea to get it.
Yeah.
Just because it's like an Apple, they keep getting better and faster.
All right. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go on record and say this. Whether you're doing PRS, and Kenny will be able to back me up and substantiate what I'm getting ready to tell you. Do not get into all the theatrics of, does this link with my SIG? Does this link with my watch? Does this link with my... Once you get to a certain point, you're not going to use that crap. Okay? I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. In any of these ruck matches, like when Kenny and I went, we don't have time to pair this to this and wait for this data to come out to us. We can do it faster by having armbands and having that dope from the Kestrel and write it on something simple like a whiteboard. Okay, so this watch, guys, this is the Garmin. This is the Delta. And yes, it works well with the Kestrel. And what it will do, I mean, it'll work with the SIGs. All I have to do is just click it. And what it will do is it'll give me the dope for that data that I put in here with the whole drop cards. The problem is I'm waiting on an information transfer. Okay, and while it's pretty quick, and it looks quick when you're in the store, and it looks quick when someone uses it, you're going to be faster without it. Okay, I don't pair up or link anything anymore to like the binos. I don't need to click on it, get a yardage, wait, 3.2 mils. I would have been faster, 215, 3.2, and I'm taking the shot. All that time just keeps adding up, and you're going to get extra time to where you can just kind of slow down a little bit without all this syncing and pairing crap. I want to see what Kenny says about that. Oh, lost it. Charles with the real pro tip. What did Charles say? I didn't see what he said. It's okay.
Hold on. Look at it. Well, Charles is
Charles Tiffy.
Yeah. So it'd be hold left edge if he's out there.
Yeah, hold left edge and send it.
Right there. Evening gents. That's not it. All right there. If the elite price is much to bear, find a used sportsman for a couple hundred, then upgrade. And you'll have 400 into the elite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah.
All
Especially if you don't need the link stuff. Let's see here. Joe Williams shooting that match. And hopefully this is helping. Hopefully Jamie is out there. He's shooting tomorrow. And hopefully some of these things will help him. I don't know if he never answered the phone text. So.
Yeah, so Eagle Eye says you rely on your field dope, practice, and learn your rifle's true holdovers. Learn drops in early morning conditions as well as midday. That's absolutely true. Saw a dude once that painted some of that dry erase paint on his magwell to write dope info on in the field. It was interesting, but seemed like it could be odd to write on the fly. I try not to write anything on the side, and I've seen a lot of guys do that. We're going to take our tactical, I can't see here, our tactical 2x4. I don't want something on the side where I've got to break my cheek weld and try to read something on the side, especially now at 51. You know, I need readers. And so anything that's really, really small, I don't really have time to be messing with. So that's why I write big numbers, and you guys will be there at some point if you're not already there or beyond that.
That's right. Yeah, there's people out there that are
I'm not writing anything on my gun. Number one, I got to read it unless I got a light colored gun. And how long do I have to let it dry? Things like that. I mean, there's too many variables on that writing stuff on the rifle.
I have wrote stuff on tape before on ARs.
Yes.
So like
stock.
You know you had zeroed your rifle at if you're doing like a different style match, and maybe some distances in case you're like miss. You're like, okay. Oh, okay, that's why.
This right here, best piece of paper. Matt P will tell you, because Matt shoots a lot of matches. He shot a lot of matches with me, and almost all the time, this is all going to be filled up. There are just some times where you're just trying to take something down as fast as you can. Just realize if you're sweating or if you're doing a ruck style match or you have clothing on, that's all going to come off. Doesn't matter if you use a permanent marker or not.
I got an armband right or something.
For what it's worth, although you guys have covered the Kestrel in great depth, their YouTube channel has a lot of short clips to help teach the inner working of the firmware of the unit. Yes.
I threw that somewhere.
What were you looking for?
Just the armband. Just a show.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's somewhere around here. It don't matter. It's either that or you can run an armband.
So it can sound like a lot that's going on, and guys, it is, but it only gets better the more you do it. So tomorrow, Sergio is going to feel like he's going into a corner with his hair on fire, and then he's going to get more and more comfortable with it as the stage progresses.
Let's run him through a stage, or you.
Oh, we don't want to put them on the spot like that. We can go over it later. But like I said, I try to keep it as basic as I can now. I try not to carry too much stuff with me. I'll have it in the car, but basically just a carry bag. I never just carry a rifle slung over my shoulder. And the reason that I choose to do that is because as soon as I get done with my rifle, I put it back in a zip-up bag, a completely enclosed bag. That way I'm not getting dust, sand, dirt, all in the action.
Or rain.
It happens all the time. If it's raining, I don't know, because sometimes that can cause your lenses to fog up. But I just want to protect the rifle and the optics from anything else that can happen. I was out in Utah teaching a class, and there was somebody that just kept walking around the rifles with like a 15-mile-an-hour wind. Well, you know what happens? He's walking on the action side. Sand is blowing into everybody's actions, and some of the rifles actually quit working. You couldn't close the bolt to chamber around because so much sand they were kicking up. It was like, dude, come on, quit walking around the rifles.
Yeah.
You would think it's pretty basic, but it's not. It just depends on the shooters.
They don't know. Or maybe they really know. Yeah, what's the name of that armband that we have that works really well? Sun something?
So we had, as far as the armbands, you have Sun Tactical.
Yeah, Sun Tactical is the one with the two flapper.
Mayflowers as well. They have a two flapper, and those are really good. I think those are made in North Carolina or somewhere close. You can also, and I hate to say it, but I've had to do it multiple times now because for whatever reason, you just forgot your armband. You can usually find at Dick's Sporting Goods, go to the football section, and I try not to patronize Dick's Sporting Goods, but you know, necessity is the mother of all things, right?
I've done this a couple times.
And that'll work, but if
you got to go all the way around,
if I'm going to pass
you got to go all the way
Sporting
around.
Goods, and I happen to be out of town and I need one, you can get those for about $8. They usually come with empty data cards, and they work great.
Yeah, the quarterback one, armband things.
Rain tactical gear on Amazon is similar to the SunTac.
Oh, I'm sure. Quarterback armband, $6. Dry erase tends to wipe off. Painter's tape, marks tape works well. Oh, we got Joel out there, Precision Rifle Network.
Okay, so I want to go over what Adventure in Obscurity just wrote, and I'm going to actually not make any friends by saying this.
A laser cut.
So basically, what he's saying, guys, is he took his flip up cap. I see a lot of guys do this, and when you flip it up right here, they'll put dope. Okay. Unfortunately, that is not going to work for you at all.
That's good for
precision
hunting.
rimfire.
Yeah, that's good.
This is great for hunting, but there's no way
In-house.
on God's green earth that you're going to be able to put enough data in this. I actually challenge you to do that with
Sometimes
this and still be able to read it.
Sometimes I have to run 2 of these so it's longer, just in order to get all the data for say 10 targets or whatever.
And so for those of you that have never done ELR rimfire, let me just give you an example.
2 vets will actually have.
So with a 50-yard zero at 100 yards, I'm at 1.8 mils. Okay, 1.8 mils at 100 yards. Let's go to 200 yards.
Yeah,
because let's say we were just going to step it in 50-yard increments to be able to get all of that information on this cap. Okay. At 200 yards, we are now at 7.8. So in 100 yards, we just basically went 6 full mils.
Yeah.
Okay. So the difference between a 172-yard target and a 160-yard target is a complete miss. You're not even going to be in the right ballpark. But it only gets exponentially worse. And we usually shoot out to about 400 plus yards, because at those distances, let's just go to 300, which we'll be shooting out to 300 tomorrow, or these guys will. Remember, we were at 7. Now we're at 13.5 mils.
That's what, 300?
Yeah. Now let's go to 325, 15 mils, 350. 17.2 mils. You're never going to be able to be precise enough to write out the information that you need here to be able to do any of that. But it's a point well taken, because for hunting, it'd work out great. Put some 50-yard increments and call it good.
It says, tell that to Austin Bushman Ray. He got second at the AG Cup and writes all his dope in his cap, and he's blind in one eye.
Hey, Joe, if he did that, kudos to him. Because if I put information on that,
I wouldn't be able to read it.
I wouldn't be able to read it.
How old is tells the name Austin Bushman? Does he have 20-year-old eyeballs or 51-year-old?
Yeah,
eyeballs?
like I said, I'm just telling you what works for me, and I did preface that before we ever got started.
Yeah. No, especially for hunting too. I think that would be, you're shooting a real rifle as far as cartridge center fire. There's not going to be all this massive difference. So if you have a 300-yard target and a 400-yard target, anywhere in between there might be 2/10. Well, it may not matter with hunting deer.
Okay, no, hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back, because maybe I misunderstood it. Yes, you can write your holdovers like I did with this data card in here. You can do that. You can absolutely do that for your stage. Okay. So if I misunderstood it, what I was saying was you can't put the entire dope of everything for your rifle in that area. Okay. So let's get clarification on that.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, big difference there.
Yeah. That makes way more sense.
Because remember, we were talking about armbands with the data board, not your holdovers for the stage.
Let's see. I think Austin's around 35, blind in his right eye. So he had.
Okay. So that's clarification. He writes data for each stage.
Okay. There you go.
There you go.
That makes more sense. No, I have seen drops that you can order too, like from different companies
Yeah, what's
for hunters. But
what's Mac limp here? Hold on. It's useful to have at least 3 different temperature ranges. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dope. Changes. Yeah, and like Ray said, we said earlier, the if you're putting on a jacket or you're shedding off some equipment because it's too hot, that's a good time to definitely check. Respin up your Kestrel, get live environmentals again.
So, guys, what he's talking about, and remember, you remember when we said trash in, trash out? When you go to your Kestrel or you go to your Strelok, there are muzzle velocity temperature tables that you can manually input and true in there. So this is a profile that was not built out. Okay, so you can see one temperature, 59 degrees, and one muzzle velocity, 2841. Well, that works well for that. But if you can start inserting temperature ranges in here, that way the Kestrel is going to know better that, hey, this is what it drops down to whenever the temperature is 30, or this is what it goes up to when the temperature is 75. The more of that data you can put in there, the better.
See, like this one. And there's not much differences in there. But it's 4 different ones. So that's a good thing. I know like Willard, he goes out when it's like super cold, 28 degrees. He gets his velocities. He's getting his basically his feet per second for his round to add in there with the temperature.
Do you have one of those?
Yeah, somewhere.
Any idea where?
Oh, that'd be in here actually. Yeah, right.
So, guys, it is no different than back in the old days when, hold on.
That front line defense, I've shot there before, Josh or Joseph. How is it out there? It's actually a really nice place.
So, guys, this is one of Rick's books for an older rifle, but you'll see how you have the different temperature ranges up at the top and the distances go down. So you'll notice some differences. So like if you look just on one of these lines, like he was holding 9/10 at 70 degrees, but he was holding 1.2 at 65 degrees. And then down here, 1.1 at 40 degrees, or at least when he did it. Yeah. So that way you'll at least see the range. This right here is not going to go dead on you. You'll have hard data.
Yeah, Ray, well, it's Asenol says, Matt, I believe they said Ray's Remix. What rifle is Sergio shooting? Yeah, he's shooting Ray's Remix. Hernandez. There he is. You got any questions, Sergio?
No. You can get on video here. I haven't seen you with the old Fu Manchu and all that.
Show a goatee. Show that goatee. All right, let me zoom out so you can see yourself. So this is Sergio, guys. He is going to be shooting tomorrow for the first time.
So Sergio has been on my channel a few times. Sergio retired from the U.S. Army after 20 years. And then, of course, he just couldn't get enough. So now he's just waiting to
get more.
I don't know what you can talk about. So, yeah, so he's waiting to do contract work. So he's just biding time until he gets all the security clearances and all that. So he came up to visit us. And unfortunately, I can't shoot with him tomorrow. But, yeah, he's a good dude.
Hey, that means, Kenny, we got a spot open. So fly your ass over here and shoot tomorrow. Triple dog dare you, buddy. Triple dog dare Eagle Eye to shoot your spot tomorrow. Perfect zero sometimes is hard to achieve for a right-handed shooter. If you're between tents, favor the left side for zero. Yeah, you got to remember, the farther you go out, so you got a little bit of spin drift. So it's better to have it a hair left than it is to have it a hair right. My thoughts, anyways. Sergio, you ready? You got everything figured out?
Yep.
What's the first thing you're gonna do when you show up to the range after you like park?
Use the bathroom.
Use the bathroom and throw up.
Get a Diet Coke.
Get a Diet Coke. There you go.
Now you're talking my language.
All right. You're gonna get your environmentals with your Kestrel, your compass calibration, all that fun stuff. And then you get a 0. Come on, buddy. We got Crow out there. Drew Bradley, Eagle Eye shooting, your pal Matt. Matt, did you figure out if you're gonna swing by and say hi? Hold left edge and send it's out there. Ace in the hole. So flow impact. What is going on? Joseph Gilliam. Hopefully I said that right. Sean D. Foco 6'5". Joe M. Bald and Curious. Who did I miss? Drew Bradley. We got Mark Lamphere. I probably blew that. Sorry, buddy. Adventure in Obscurity. Precision Rifle Network. Cardinal Puff. Drew Bradley's Eric. Doug Disher's out there. Papa's Place. Mr. Joaquin Jack Nava. Abigail. Boom, 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 boom. I think I might have got most everybody. Stratus 27. If I haven't said your name yet, type something in the comments section. But other than that, that is one. We're almost at an hour. We're going to keep this short. We got stuff to do. We got to go over some practicing with him. And I don't know. I think this video is good. There's a lot of good information in it for the new, someone that's thinking about or is actually signed up and ready to go shoot. So hopefully, if you guys have any questions, we'll give you a couple minutes to ask. Let's see, something about Drew here. Says, Sergio, they'll help you win this match, LOL.
Bring fart spray.
Actually, just so you guys know, there's 5 squads of 10, and everybody but like 2 people are not showing up. So I think we're shooting 48. We're going to be shooting against 48 people. So we got some really big heavy hitters. I know Chris Beck's come up with his buddy. We got John Alden. We got Ben Blevins and Travis Schmitter and all sorts of great shooters. So it's going to be a tough one. So see how well we do. See how much fun we have. And we got Tron American out there. Appreciate it.
Doug says thanks for your service.
Thanks, Doug. And Michael Hill's out there. Who else? Anyways, hopefully you guys have a wonderful night. We are going to keep it short because we got to be on the road early tomorrow. We got to be ready, show up early, and kick ass, right, buddy?
Yep.
So what are you thinking? Out of 48 shooters, how do you think you'll do? Top
40.
Top 40. There you go.
Shooting a desert precision gun works build.
Hey, just so you
bump
know, that rifle's never lost a match that you're shooting tomorrow.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Top 30, then.
Top 30? There you go. Should be fun.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, and hold on. Give me just a second.
Dun, dun, dun.
I can talk about it now. I can't bring the scope over here, but he will be shooting the new XTR3 by Burris. What's really cool is they have these toolless caps. It's all toolless zeros, and you've got the speed dial. So I can show you this much of it. I can't show you the rest, but yeah, you guys saw some sneak previews of that. I've been using the scope, and it works really, really well. Cool stuff.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, some fancy stuff out there tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be shooting the Gen 3, 6-36. This will be the first match for that. Looking forward to that. And I went out and zeroed the other day. I like it. I like it a lot. So we'll see what happens, see how we'll do. And the zeroing of the new HD Gen 3 is light years better than the Gen 2. Nothing wrong with the Gen 2, but it's so much faster. So much faster. Got Brad out there. You guys get snow. We finally have winter again. We got snow the other day that was super bright.
Super bright.
Super bright. Yeah, that's exactly what was going on. Drew says Sergio will do fine.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get the jitters. I've shot with Sergio in a couple matches, and I don't think it'll be the jitters. I mean, you need enough tours. How many total? 6? 6 tours. So I think it'll be pretty relaxing for them.
This is a good
Yeah,
point,
probably
though.
so, because almost every time I've shot with you,
Slow
you're
and
pretty even kills.
slow and hit counts over speed. Better to get 6 or 7 than 10 misses, basically. So flow. Southern Florida Impact. Well said. I actually talked to them about that earlier today. Let's see. Other than that, anything else? All right, we're out of here. You guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you're ready for your next match. You guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe. And don't just wish Sergio luck. I mean, you guys can wish me luck too, damn it.
Sorry, I meant to say XTR Pro. I didn't mean to call it the XTR3. So yes, it was the Pro. Good catch.
Good catch.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't bring it over here to show you because then they'll pull the channels or pull the feed.
Yeah, stupid YouTube. Big country. Oh, have you ever figured out? Never mind.
What?
The hunt for Red October.
No, I don't know. There's so much going on at work right now. Things are crazy.
So I'm not going to be able to give you that answer, Big Country. So.
I'd like to, but it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
And someone mentioned something about the belts, guys. We have been making them as fast as we possibly can.
We're waiting on parts. I told them the other day.
Yeah, we're waiting on parts. But if you have a size waist of like 32 to about 38, drop me an email because we do have quite a few now with the buckles, but we haven't put them on the website because we don't have the full range of belts. That's it. That's all I can tell you.
There you go. You guys can have some X-ring. They're X-ring ones, right?
Yeah, there's X-Ring custom with the X-Ring logo on them.
Awesome. That's cool. All right. You guys have a good one.
See ya.
See you later, alligator.